Hello, everyone. Welcome to Messing Jets D podcast. You guys can follow me at Darian Evans Reigns blogspot .com and on Twitter at Messnetch Jets D. Oh, excuse me, Messnetch Jets 908 on Twitter. We're back for Week 11 football. Week 10 was solid. So Week 11, let's get into it so we can bring back to back good weeks. All right, my first game because I'm gonna do four games and then give you two other plays that I really like that are they're gonna be very low owned or very sneaky. So the first game I like this week, I'm gonna start with the Rams versus Minnesota. Currently this total is at, let me check. Use Vegas Insiders. For the Rams Minnesota game, you got 46 and it's supposed to be close, like 2 points separating these two teams. Um, I really like the Minnesota side more, starting with Case Keenum. I like Jared Goff as well, but Keenum is a little cheaper. He's fighting for his job right now. He has Teddy Bridgewater nipping at his heels. They really want to start Bridgewater, but Keenum's been on a 5-game winning streak. So he's going to prove himself to keep this job. And that's also a risk as well because if he slips up against this Rams team, then they're gonna pull him and put in Bridgewater. But I think Keenum keeps the job. One more week, he I think he elevates his game to the pressure, and that leads me to loving Stefon Diggs as his pass catching wide receiver of choice for me this week. Thielen was the obvious choice last week because he was in the slot against the Redskins, and that's their main weakness because they have two great outside corners in Breland and Norman. But this is Diggs' week, I think. I chose Diggs last week, and last minute I wanted to use him because I just looked at what they did against the Redskins last year and against Norman. Diggs had a successful week. And then Diggs also had another great game last week. Not great, but he got a touchdown. He had 4 for 78 and a touchdown, which is very good against the top corner in the league. One of the top corners in the league in Josh Norman. 17.8. But he got, trounced by Thielen's crazy game. What was that? 8-12 targets, 166 yards and a touchdown. I think that performance that Thielen had, Diggs should have this week. He's a super talented wide receiver, and he's bound to break out for one of his huge games. He had one already this year against Tampa Bay. Ridiculous 173, 2 touchdowns, 40 DK, and then against New Orleans he had 793 and 2 touchdowns. So you see the potential breakout. He has great hands, great speed. I really like Diggs as the main option for Case Keenum in this stack. If you want to continue on with this stack, Kyle Rudolph is a great option. Rams is a solid defense, but they're a little susceptible against the tight end, especially with the kind of wide receiving core that the Vikings have. They're very deadly. They have an outside guy, they have a slot guy, and they have a great tight end. Um, Kyle Rudolph's been very consistent with points and in targets. As you can see, the last 4 weeks, 9, 7, 7, 7, and he doesn't really like let you down points wise. He gives you something, so that's what you're looking for. You don't want a 2 or a 0 out of you're spending your money. You need at least a touchdown. That's what you're looking for in a tight end. You don't really expect 20 points from a tight end, but you would greatly appreciate it. To bring it back, I like Gurley. Obviously, it really doesn't matter what defense this man face. He is going to get the workload either in the rushing game or the receiving game, as you can see. 20 rushing attempts, 22 rushing attempts, 8, 3, 7 receiving targets. They're going to utilize him more in the passing game to because the Vikings, purple people eaters, as they like to say, they're strong up the middle. Just to give Gurley some more touches, they're gonna probably use more screen game with Gurley. Um, he should at least give you 4 times value at this $8,400 price. So he's going to be low owned. Everyone's going to see Vikings defense and get scared, but Gurley should at least get his value for what you're paying for. If you want a wide receiver choice from the Rams, Robert Woods has been very hot so far this year. That's crazy. He has 622 yards and 4 touchdowns. That's crazy. Um, he's been on fire. 7 targets, 7, 5, 10. He has a 40 DK point game last week and 23 against the Giants. The problem is he's gonna be facing. Let me show you over here. Let me just go to Fantasy Labs. He's gonna be facing an elite corner and Xavier Rhodes. So I'm on Fantasy Labs right now. If we go to where's Los Angeles? Los Angeles Rams. Right there, boom. Woods and Xavier Rhodes. Rhodes is an elite corner in the league. He's going to shut Woods down, and that leaves more opportunity for Sammy Watkins and Cooper Kupp. I prefer Sammy Watkins because Trey Waynes is their most shakiest corner. So I really like Sammy Watkins if you want to complete this game stack, which is smart because these game stacks, if you hit the right game, this is gonna be what skyrockets you to the top of the leaderboards in any tournament because it's going to be low on. People might have one or two players, but no one's going to have the whole game. But you will. And if it goes off and it goes to overtime, then you're just only getting more and more points. This is why I do the game by game breakdown. I pick 4 games in that I think are going to be competitive and go high scoring, just to give you a better chance at winning. So this is one of the stacks I really like: Rams versus Vikings. Let's go on to the next one. For my next choice, I really like the Redskins versus the Saints. I think this is like a 50 total. Let's see, where is it? I'm blind right now. Really can't find it. Okay, there you go. 50 right there. With like an 8, 7.5 point difference. They're saying pretty much Washington's going to be behind and they're going to try to catch up, which is probably most likely true. Saints defense is solid. Is no actually it's one of the best in the league right now. Um, that means I might want to go Cousins since they're going to be fighting back. Drew Brees is going to be super low on because they've just been waiting. Everyone's been waiting on a Drew Brees game week in and week out, but the thing is that they just keep pounding the rock with the 2 great running backs and Mark Ingram and Alvin Kamara. If Redskins slightly slow them down in the run game, we can finally see the old Drew Brees, and he's home. This gonna be super sneaky. I kind of like Drew Brees more than Tom. No, I don't. It's hard because I need to make my one lineup in the $1 million making, and it's between Tom Brady and Breeze. I'm really gonna mull this over, but um, let's get back to this game. So we're gonna start with Breeze in the game stack. Uh, Mark Ingram had his 3 touchdown game last week. He's gonna be highly owned. You see right there, 34.1. I'm gonna go with Alvin Kamara. Um, just in case this is a shootout, he gets just as much work as Mark Ingram, but he gets even more work in the passing game. 7 targets, 3 targets, 7 targets, 5 targets, and he's just super consistent. 15, 16, 32, and 27. and he has three straight games of touchdowns and one game with two touchdowns. So Alvin Kamara has been a crazy good rookie running back. I'm so happy I drafted him in one of my leagues. Um, you could really see the explosiveness in this guy. Another option I like for the wide receivers in the Saints is going to be obviously Michael Thomas. He still hasn't off, but he's just giving you, what you paid for and nothing more. But the targets are going to be there 11-8, 11-10, and he just hasn't gotten in the end zone. He's due. Maybe this week, maybe next week. And if you want a sleeper option, like I said, with the Redskins, since they're facing the Redskins, their weakness is in the slot. And if you really, really don't care about your lineup, no, it's not don't care, but if you want to separate yourself from everyone else, um, Willie Snead has just been getting more and more snaps. This last past week against the Bills, he had 36 offensive snaps. It says right here. Um, Snead hasn't drawn a target the past 3 weeks, but his snap share has jumped from 7% to 30% to a high point of 47% Sunday. So he's up to 47% of the snaps on the field, and this is their true slot guy. So if you wanted a flyer, a deep a punt play at 3K, Willie Snead is a decent option against the poor slot play of the Redskins. If you want to bring this back, my choices for the Washington Redskins, I love Chris Thompson with Robert Kelly on the IR. When Robert Kelly is out, Chris Thompson dominates the touches. He gets he gets his carries, and uh, he's always lethal enough to take it always to the house. As you can see against the Rams, he took a 61-yard rush right here to the house, and then he dominated against Oakland as well with 33 points. So when he gets the opportunity as the lead back with the Redskins, he takes full advantage because they give him the rushing work and the passing work, just like Alvin Kamara. This is what you need in DraftKings since it's a PPR based scoring format, and Chris Thompson is a great option. The wide receiver I like in this game is going to be Jamison Crowder at 4,300, nice and cheap. There is no Jordan Reed and no uh who's this? Oh, Terrell Pryor, who hasn't been getting any work anyway. But Jamison Crowder has skyrocketed to the number one option on the Redskins offense with 13 targets and 11 the last past 2 weeks. He just hasn't gotten in the end zone yet, but the work is there, and it only is inevitable that he does get into the end zone. With this Saints defense, a very strong Saints defense, their weakness is the slot. Um, let's go to the Saints right here. I'm just swap it real quick to flip. Okay, so Ryan Grant is questionable. Crowley is a decent corner. Lattimore is what you need to be afraid of, and he should be lining it up against Josh Dotson, who everyone loves. But the real good matchup right here is going to be Crowder against Williams, and he should take full advantage of that in this game. Washington is going to be fighting back most likely, and Kirk Cousins is going to be leaning on Thompson and Crowder a lot in this game. Also, since Jordan Reed is out, that means Vernon Davis. Okay, so let me put in Crowder, and so you get your little idea of how this game stack would be. So you could choose Drew Brees or Kirk Cousins, but this is kind of I like this. This is really good. This could bring a lot of points in this game. This game stack right here. So My favorite plays would be Thompson, Crowder, Vernon Davis, definitely Alvin Kamara. Drew Brees is a maybe since they love to run the ball. This is a great game to stack this week. Let me go on to my third choice and clear this out. Third choice would be KC and the Giants, but there's been big news about Sterling Shepard. Let's check. Let me go to Twitter. Well, it's a whole bunch of sports stuff I got up, but Twitter, Fantasy Labs. This is what you need on Sunday mornings, like 2 hours before lock. Every minute they have some updated news or that's breaking. And as you can see, 52 minutes ago, Sterling Shepard unlikely to play Sunday. So get him out of your lineups, and this kind of shores up the idea of Kareem Hunt because KC should be up big, and the Giants should be fighting to catch up. But that means I like. Let's see. That means I definitely like Evan Ingram at 6,000. A lot of people are going to be on Travis Kelsey, but I don't think he gets enough volume, and he tends to let down people when he's chalk. Since this is going to most likely be a blowout, they're going to be leaning more on Kareem Hunt. And when they do get to the blowout, I think Tyreek Hill is going to be the player that gets the points before this game is becomes lopsided. So I would go with Eli Manning because he's cheaper. I don't really trust um, Alex Smith that much, even though he's been very solid. He's averaging 22 points a game. But just be cheaper. Go Eli Manning. He's going to be fighting back. Um, Kareem Hunt, definite option. As you saw last week against the 49ers, the Giants are putrid in run stopping. Uh, let's see. Definitely Kareem Hunt, Evan Ingram, Tyreek Hill. If you want to go Kelsey, you can. He's the most expensive tight end, and he's going to be super highly owned. You can. Um, but I prefer Evan Ingram, who's going to be guaranteed his 10 targets. As you see, week 7, week 9, he had 12, 10, and he had 9 last week. But without Sterling Shepard, he's going to be leaned on even more, and he's going to be a great option with Eli Manning. Wide receiver, another wide receiver if you want to choose one from the Giants, because it's not going to just be all Evan Ingram. That's just impossible. I like Tavares King. He likes him in the red zone. Week 9, he threw Eli Manning threw Tavares King a touchdown, and they use him in the rush game as well with the end arounds. So Tavares King is another okay option with this game stack. No Shepard. Kareem Hunt is good. And if you want a running back from the Giants, Darkwa, who's been getting 70 yards rushing the last past 2 weeks. He has 100 against Denver. So this is a decent option, cheap at 4,800 against KC. If you look at the matchup, KC's defense is not good at all. They're 28th ranked and 29th against rushing. So Darkwa is another. This could go back and forth and be high scoring. I like this. I really like this. Okay, so we got Tavares King. We got Tyreek Hill, definite. He's another weird one with road splits. As you can see, away games he averages 22. In home games he averages 7.4. I don't know what that is, but if you guys believe in that, he is away, and he's been the most least talked about Kansas City Chief weapon this week. It's all been about Alex Smith, Kareem Hunt, and Travis Kelsey. Not that many people are trusting in Tyreek Hill, and I'm gonna trust in Tyreek Hill. He's gonna be in my main lineup. I like I like what he provides. He's just a huge burst of energy. Any play, he can take it to the house, and he's going to be playing a special teams as well. All right, so that's the Chiefs Giants stack that I have right here. Eli, Kareem Hunt, Darkwa, Evan Ingram, Tyreek Hill. If you want to throw in, if you want to trust Chalky, Kelsey, you can, and Tavares King as a cheap option at 3K for the Giants, other than Evan Ingram. My last game I really, really, really love, who everyone has been like going crazy for, is the New England versus Oakland Raiders game. Um, Shout out to the Siege and from Roto Grinders, who I listen to faithfully every week. This is his breakdown of what the Patriots are gonna do this week, so I'm gonna give him credit. I'm gonna probably like put his Twitter link in the description below, so you guys can follow him on Twitter. But his idea is that the New England Patriots last week, since they played in altitude in Denver, these guys stayed in altitude to practice at in Denver and at what was it? I think it's the Army Field. I forgot what he said, but they stayed in altitude an extra week just to prepare to play in Mexico City. This game is going to be in Mexico City, not in and not at Oakland. So in Mexico City, the altitude is like 7,000 feet. So the New England is really prepared, and they're probably going to play fast pace to tire out the Raiders, who stayed home this last past week at 7 feet, which is like it's like there's no altitude in Oakland. Um, so Patriots seem to be trained and ready, and going to run a very very fast paced no huddle offense with their weapons. Brandon Cooks is another great option this week with Brandon Cooks. Let's see, with Rob Gronkowski, who's a second expensive tight end, Tom Brady to continue this stack. But the conundrum is, which running back would you like to choose? Everyone's going to choose Rex Burkhead because what he did last week. Um, he's going to be super chalk and he's super cheap, 3,600. Everyone's going to be on him. But I beg to differ. Deion Lewis also gets work. You can't go wrong. You could choose. You could choose both of these, at least two of these running backs from New England, and probably get 15 from each. So it's basically pick your poison. Um, I don't know which one to choose, so I'm gonna avoid it and just stick with the other pass catchers. With Chris Hogan out, that means Cooks and Gronkowski is gonna be leaned on even more, and the New England running backs, but I just don't know which one. But if I was to choose, I would probably choose Deion Lewis. If you want to choose one, it would be Deion Lewis. Um, to continue on with this stack, I have a sneaky option on New England, other than Gronkowski, other than Cooks, other than the three running backs. They brought Martellus Bennett to New England for a reason. And what this guy did last year was pretty impressive. He had a 3 touchdown game. He had like 4 100-yard games. Let's go here and see Martellus Bennett. Check him on ESPN. There you go. All right. Go to his game log. We're going to go to 2016. And as you see his game log, he had 5 for 114 and a touchdown, 5 for 109. He had 6 for 67, 3 touchdowns, 7 for 102, 4 for 70, a touchdown. He was utilized a lot, and Tom Brady really, really trusts Martellus Bennett. They have a connection. That's why they brought him back, and Bill Belichick knows it. So in these last 7 games, they're gonna try to use Martellus Bennett. You know, New England loves to go two tight ends for a reason.
is just more deadly, and it's just a better flowing offense for Tom Brady to pick and choose, and it's almost unguardable. So I really love Martellus Bennett at 2,800. No one is talking about him. He might have another one of those 2, 3 touchdown games coming out of nowhere. I'm gonna use him. I'm gonna use him. He's super sneaky. Uh, just think about it. Using Martellus Bennett, he brings he sets you pretty nice for the rest of your lineup. You can spin up wherever you want. I really like Martellus Bennett. So for Oakland Raiders, if you wanted a tight end, Jared Cook, who's been getting more and more love from Derek Carr week in and week out. The KC game was huge. That was more of his breakout game. 7 for 107. Well, 6 for 107. Um, the Bills, he had a good game. 4 for 57. And then last week he had 8 for 126. Well, 2 weeks ago, 8 for 126 against Miami. Jared Cook is a good option because the Patriots going to be focusing on the best offensive player on the Raiders. That's Amari Cooper, who's been down inconsistent. I'm not going to be using Amari Cooper this week. He's going to get that Bill Belichick treatment. They're going to focus in on him, use bracket coverage most likely, and that's going to leave Michael Crabtree to more and more targets and touchdowns. Uh, this is Carr's real favorite target. Michael Crabtree. He leans on him a lot in the red zone, as you see against the Jets. He had 3 touchdowns. Then in week 5, he had a touchdown. Week 6, he had a touchdown. Week 7, he had a touchdown. That's just Derek Carr trusts Michael Crabtree. He's a huge wide receiver with great hands, and coming out of Texas Tech. He's a great prospect. Really blossomed with the Oakland Raiders, and Derek Carr knows it. So I would choose Michael Crabtree on the Oakland side. Running back Marshawn Lynch. I'm not gonna say no to him. He's too cheap. He seems to be turning on a little more. Before the bye, against Miami at 14 rushes, 57 yards for 2 touchdowns, and he had 2 receptions. So I don't put it out his way. They gonna feed the beast, and that's Marshawn Lynch. Especially if they want to slow down tempo against these Patriots, who's gonna be trying to gas the Oakland Raiders on defense, and just to give their defense some breathing room and some time to rest. They're gonna need to establish a running game in Marshawn Lynch, so he's gonna be a great option. I'm gonna have some of Marshawn Lynch this week. All right, those are the 4 main games we're focusing on: the Raiders, the Patriots, which is a super high total, the Kansas City Chiefs and Giants, the Redskins and the Saints, and the Rams and the Minnesota Vikings. So I'm gonna give you guys some additional picks. Um, Starting with us, my super secret deep sleeper. Let's see if I can find him. I gotta take off the other thing. It's still stuck on that game. All right, so D.D. Westbrook. I've been waiting for this man to come back for like 11 weeks. This was the star of the preseason, and he's finally back with the Jacksonville Jaguars. They finally activated him. So the Jags are going to be without Allen Hurns this week, and that's going to leave them with Marquise Lee, who everyone's going to be on. But the real other option would be D.D. Westbrook. Um, he's only 3,600. He has tons and tons of talent, and I'm going to be using him this week since should be McCourty. Let's check right here. McCourty should be on Marcus Lee. And I was right last week. I forgot McCourty was on who someone last week, but he locked him down last week. So this week McCourty should be on. Yes, he's going to be on Marquise Lee. So that leaves Westbrook with Taylor, and that's going to be a great matchup for the rookie. Bortles going to have to throw the ball. Fournette is looking more and more iffy by the minute. He's still suffering from that ankle injury, and the Jaguars O line is also decimated. They're missing two of their O linemen. Let's see. I had the report here earlier. Let's see if I find it. Okay, here you go. Jaguars left guard and right tackle are going to be out for this Sunday, and those are their best run blocking guys. So they're going to be leaning on more of Bortles in the passing game. Bortles is going to be throwing to D.D. Westbrook or Keelan Cole because Jason McCourty is going to put the clamps on Marquise Lee. Really, really love D.D. Westbrook at this price. Um, he's a super secret, deep play who I really like this week. Let's see who else I like this week. Okay, in my other game, that's another game I like. Let's see. Where are you, Miami? Okay. For Miami, Devontae Parker. Uh, I'm waiting for his breakout game as well. I really like his talent. Um, Jay Cutler has a lot of chemistry with Devontae Parker. He said it during preseason. He's like a bigger, faster Alshon Jeffrey, and you can see it with the targets: 9 targets, 8 targets, 8 targets. They have a good connection. They just haven't, had their good game yet. And this might be the week. A lot of teams usually go off on Tampa Bay. Their secondary is suspect, but their front seven is pretty solid. If Miami can pass protect enough for Jay Cutler to get the ball to Devontae Parker, he should have a huge day. Um, I really like Devontae Parker this week at 6,500, who's my second and last pick for this week 11 video. Um, Good luck, guys, this week. Remember to follow me on my blog at DarianEvans-Reigns.blogspot.com, Twitter at MetsNetsJets908. This is the MetsNets Jets D podcast. Make sure you subscribe, leave a comment, show some love. All right. And we'll see you guys next week, and good luck.